You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's.
Welcome to Cincinnati, Ohio. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Almost ready for the tip at the Fifth Third Arena on campus at Cincinnati. The Bearcats hosting the Connecticut Huskies, all part of Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. Mike Patrick, Len Elmore, great to have you with us. Cincinnati finds itself squarely on the NCAA bubble, according to Joe Lunardi. They need a win today to stay in the field of 68, Len.
Well, if that bracketology projection reflects reality, Cincinnati must play with desperation in order to dance next month. They've got UConn today, 2 road games, and they finish with SMU. But talking about today, a huge obstacle for Cincinnati in UConn and their man in the middle. With Amita Brima, UConn is a different team on both ends. When he's his shot-blocking, rim-protecting self, UConn can extend their defense and continue its nationally top 5 field goal percentage D. And when Brima adds offense, he provides a huge inside complement to UConn's outside game.
He was exceptional, of course, in the big win over SMU the other night in Hartford. Cincinnati in the home whites controls the opening tip.
Well, UConn opening up in man-to-man, and we talked about defense. 3rd in the nation in field goal percentage defense.
This is Copain. 11 to shoot. Shaq Thomas, top of the key, picked up his dribble. It's up to Copain with 5 on the shot clock, and he knocked it down. And that's been the Achilles heel for Troy Copain this year. His poor shooting from beyond the arc and inside it, but not that time.
Well, that's always a good sign for Cincinnati. Copain gets his confidence. And Connecticut having to play against the Cincinnati matchup zone.
Hamilton, runner in the lane, doesn't get the roll. The rebound to Shaq Thomas. Playing in his 128th career game. 2 more. He moves into the top 10 all-time in Cincinnati history. Copain way off target, but an offensive rebound. Copain again gets it back to Thomas. I think after that missed 3, Troy Copain did not want to shoot it again and find Thomas in the lane instead.
Well, again, good passing. That was essentially interior passing, as everybody who passed the ball in that sequence was inside the lane.
Hamilton, this is Miller. And now Omar Calhoun, he's been starting and has been shooting well from the outside. Brima will try one from about 12 feet, maybe outside of his range. The follow won't go for Sean Miller under pressure.
Pretty good defense by Octavius Ellis underneath, as Sean Miller has really been the guy. Before Brima had that terrific game against SMU, Miller was the inside man for UConn.
Copain looked to the bench, got the call what Mick Cronin wanted. Clark will try a 3. The best spot to shoot one, top of the key, and what a start. 8-0 for the Bearcats. Kevin Ollie says, let's just calm down. Cincinnati has been tormented this year by close games that they couldn't close out. 6 of their 8 losses by 4 points or less. They are 19-8 overall, 9-5 in the conference. And as we told you earlier, Joe Lunardi says they are the last team in the field.
Well, their last loss was against Tulsa, at Tulsa, by 2 points in double overtime. And we mentioned at the beginning of the telecast, Cincinnati having to play with an element of desperation. There's not a person in this stadium, in this arena, that doesn't feel that. And the Bearcats have come out playing like they need to survive.
Purvis has checked in. Hamilton leans into one. Didn't get the roll. One and done again. Shaq Thomas with another rebound, and he leads the break. Cobb, their best outside shooter.
I was going to say they got a mismatch down low. Gibbs against Gary Clark. But Cincinnati could not give him the ball, and he's still playing Gary Clark.
Ellis into the lane, but travels. Mick Cronin did not like the call. Thought he was fouled.
That was a missed opportunity. Cincinnati with poor spacing could never get the ball down to Gary Clark on the block, who had Sterling Gibbs locked up. Gibbs 6'2", Clark 6'9".
Got to take advantage of those situations when you get them. Ryan, the top of the circle. He draws Octavius Ellis out with him. Cincinnati, a very tough defensive team. Miller got it.
That's what Sean Miller brings to the game. Ability down on the low block, took his time, and really kept Gary Clark frozen on the floor with a head fake, and he went back up nicely.
Took the Huskies 3.5 minutes to get their first bucket.
And again, with Bryma in the middle, UConn able to extend their defense because you know he's going to protect the rim.
Clark, 2 to shoot. Didn't get it off in time, and a good play by Sean Miller to knock it away. Hamilton on the run. He's at his best in the open court, isn't he?
He certainly is, because he's got the ability to take it to the basket, outstanding passer, and most of the time exercises good judgment.
15:52 to go, first half, 8-4 Bearcats.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2016 John R. Wooden Award Men's Player of the Year, and the new 2016 Lexus GS. Once you take control, there's no going back.
Boatwright against Johnson. This is it.
Boatwright goes right. Picked up by Ellis. A three.
UConn a winner, and they are still alive.
And Ryan Boatwright sends the Huskies to Saturday.
Throughout their great basketball history, they have always seemed to have a guard who could take over at the end. Champ Week, presented by Dick, starts March 2nd. Cincinnati's resume 9-5 in the conference. BPI's really good, not so much for the RPI. Joe Lunardi says they're among the last 4 in, and the quality wins Connecticut, Tulsa, and GW. Connecticut, of course, was the first time these teams met in Hartford.
And I really think it's a strength for those quality wins, despite the fact that Cincinnati's played a reasonably tough schedule. That's what's kept them in the mix so far. But from this moment on, to quote Al Davis, often quoted, just win, baby, because that's the only way I think Cincinnati's going to survive and get into the tournament field.
Absolutely.
We mentioned before, they got this game with UConn, 2 road games upcoming at East Carolina, at Houston, and then to finish the season with SMU.
Cobb, their best long-range shooter, misses the 3. Jalen Adams, who just checked into the ball game, drops it off for Purvis. Now Bryant wheels it away and had it rejected by Clark. Nice block on the 7-footer. Jacob Evans misses the 3. Foul inside.
We're going to take a look. You see Gary Clark come. Amita Bryma, nice move to the basket, but he left too much room between himself and the basket, and Gary Clark anticipated, and instead of going over too quickly to double team, he waited until Bryma committed himself, had enough room to go up and block the shot. That sends a message to the big fella the next time he receives it.
Sure does, and then Bryma picks up the foul at the other end. Clark left alone, so why not? Gary Clark, who has the 2nd best field goal percentage of anybody in the American Conference, knocks down the 14-footer. Sean Miller.
There's that Clark man again.
Tough on the boards.
Gary Clark has been outstanding. Last 7 games, averaging about 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks, and shooting way over 50% from the field.
Offensive foul away from the ball called on Octavius Ellis, the 6'10 senior from Memphis, who has had really a great week last week. Back-to-back double-doubles. Gives him 5 of those for the season.
Yeah, that tandem of Clark and Ellis has been pretty formidable throughout the season. And now's the time for both of them to play at their best.
Full court pressure against Jalen Adams. 2 really good ball handlers in there now. Nolan was double teamed inside. Gary Clark got a piece of it and stole it.
Nolan at 6'10 was looking to pass the ball back outside 3 feet from the basket instead of being assertive to the hoop.
Copain to Clark in the corner. Jacob Evans the third. Clark, nice catch. Then he lost it when he tried to dribble it. That's out of bounds to Cincinnati. And now the official's going to talk it over. And it will be to Cincinnati. There was a question about it.
And take a look right here. Gary Clark, in the last 3 times he's touched the ball, and it looked as though Rodney Purvis might have tipped it out. The last 3 times Clark has touched the ball, he's kind of fumbled it. I think he might be a little too anxious and needs to settle down on the offensive end. He's been doing good work on defense.
Copain, tough off-balance shot. And 3 Huskies surrounded the rim. Adams, who loves the open court game, so does Purvis, missed everything. UConn poor shooting early. Clark again, he'll try a 3. Purvis lost the rebound. The officials staring at each other, and the ball's on to Cincinnati.
Well, just in case people are wondering, Gary Clark, power player inside, why is he taking 3s? Gary Clark has hit 13 out of 23.
Good reason.
I'll tell you that. And if he's got it open, he's got to take that look.
Been very selective all year, and you shoot that kind of percentage, they give you an opportunity. Why not?
See, the Bearcats have cooled down just a little bit as UConn's defense has kind of settled in more.
UConn needs to play the same kind of defense against Cincinnati that they did against high-scoring SMU.
Too far.
Poor pass by Clark to Copain off his fingertips.
It was a good look. He just didn't have enough room, as again Sterling Gibbs at 6'2". Troy Copain 6'4", had the advantage going to the basket. Clark couldn't find him.
Len, that's already 4 turnovers committed by Cincinnati in 7 minutes of play. Sterling Gibbs will bring it up against Kevin Johnson, who's in for the first time.
You talk about those turnovers, Mike. UConn, though, has yet to really been able to capitalize on them.
No, they haven't been open court mistakes, and there's a travel on Adams, the freshman from Roxbury, Massachusetts, his second early.
Yeah, UConn, if you get live ball turnovers, they're going to turn it around in transition and try to run it down your throat. But the dead ball turnovers give Cincinnati a chance to set up their defense. We talked about how good UConn's D is. Cincinnati in the top 15 in field goal percentage defense as well.
And year in and year out, Cincinnati has been an exceptional defensive team without fouling. And there is Gary Clark. Beautiful spin move and a nice soft touch. Clark already has 7 of the Bearcats' 12 points.
And we told you he's got it going on.
Last 9 games averaging almost 14 points a game. Purvis, nice drive, then he's stripped.
No, wrong guy.
Ill-advised pass.
The wrong guy.
Kevin Johnson got it out. You don't look for the big guys because they're not going to catch all of them. Corianti to Berry in full stride, couldn't haul it in.
And I know what Johnson's thinking. I mean, you got a guy out front, you want to get him the ball and go to the basket, but you know, you want to feed your thoroughbreds, not necessarily your Clydesdale. You let your Clydesdale get set.
Clydesdale needs the bucket around the neck, doesn't it?
And DeBerry big and strong down low. Not necessarily the guy you want to see leading the fast break.
Quadri Moore is in for Cincinnati. He's got 0 on his chest. 8 to shoot. Adams out of the corner. No. Boy, it's been one and done for UConn. Cincinnati dominating the defensive boards. This is Justin Jennifer. Just about everybody with a scholarship has already been in this game.
All hands on deck, particularly if you're Cincinnati. Again, you got to find the right combinations, maintain this lead.
5 to shoot. Jennifer, scoop shot. And Corianti DeBerry almost had the rebound, but it's a shot clock violation. Joe Lunardi will have the picture for the American Conference as far as the NCAA tournament goes when we come back. Stay tuned for Joey Brackets. The early lead belongs to Cincinnati. They're up on UConn 12-4. Welcome on campus, everybody. Mike Patrick, Len Elmore. It's great to have you with us. A lot of teams in this conference right now very nervous about Selection Sunday, aren't they?
Well, they are. And again, it's a precarious situation, and the fluidity of the situation means that you really can control your destiny by winning, but you can't really rely on other teams happening when you lose. And things that happen, you can change position without even playing. UConn right now, 9 seed, Temple 11. Cincinnati and with Tulsa on the first 4 out, those two teams absolutely have to continue winning. Because, again, we talked about fluidity, situations, positions change whether you play or not, as other teams are jockeying for position as well.
Temple and Cincinnati, of course, the ones that are closest to being the pure definition of a bubble team. The Huskies, a club that averages more than 73 points a game. We saw how good they can be offensively at times against SMU, but they've only scored 4 points in the first 9 minutes of this basketball game.
Well, as I said before, Cincinnati had to come out here with an air of desperation, continual survival, and they came out hot, focused, and efficient. And UConn, maybe an emotional letdown from that big win against SMU. He came out here kind of sleepwalking initially. They're trying to get back into the game.
Justin Jennifer got it low to Corianti DeBerry, and he had it knocked out of his hands. Got another Super Saturday for you tonight. First in college hoops, number 14 Kentucky with Tyler Ulis against Texas A&M on ESPN at 6:30. Then we go to the NBA on ABC at 8:30. Steph and the Warriors against Chris Paul and the Clippers. Hope you enjoy those ball games. Foul was on Sean Miller, and that will send Corianti DeBerry to the free throw line. The young man who came to Cincinnati out of Hutchinson Junior College.
Wow. Now you talk about good hands, big hands. We kind of criticized Kevin Johnson for throwing DeBerry the ball on the fast break. With hands like that, just throw it in the general vicinity. He should be able to just pluck it out of the air. But then he had to put it on the floor since he was at half court. Yeah.
Nice touch from the line, too. He shot 63% this year. Lost 25 pounds in the offseason. 44. Wide open. Miller got it. This club has really benefited from the 2 senior transfers, Sean Miller and Sterling Gibbs. Instant leadership, instant firepower.
On that play, sometimes you can help a little bit too much, and I think that's what DeBerry did. Tried to hold the fort in the middle, and Miller's a good perimeter player.
Here's a trap. DeBerry hauls it down the lane. That's what losing 25 will do for you. And the lead has grown to 10 as we go under 10 minutes. Purvis. No again. DeBerry clears.
And I think
this is Justin Jennifer.
That's been a criticism of UConn settling for the 3 Instead of when you're down like this, you've got to challenge the defense.
It's great when they go in, but when you miss and it's one and done, it's tough. 10 to shoot. DeBerry wanted it back. Poor bounce pass by Kevin Johnson. Gibbs directing traffic. Nice spin into the lane. Blocked, but a foul. Well, it looked like a good block by Jacob Evans, and it may have been somebody else got the foul.
Well, you take a good ball move with DeBerry at the top, isolated one-on-one, not only with the quickness, but the big hands to hold on to it. And here, Sterling Gibbs, at least at the top, it looked like a pretty good block, but down low, DeBerry got him with the body.
DeBerry got him with the body. And there is a rarity. The second leading free throw shooter in the conference misses 86.2%, and a wave of blue off the bench for Kevin Ollie. Brima is back in. Makes one of two.
And I thought
16-7.
This is what UConn would have to do right now, at least for a little bit of time. See how Cincinnati reacts to some full court pressure.
Copane, an outstanding ball handler. Better than 2.5 assists per turnover on the season. Cobb, a floater and a tough one, and it went right down. What a shot by Farhad Cobb, known for his three-point shots. Beautiful floater. Cincinnati playing with a lot of intensity right now, Len.
Yeah, they know what's at stake. And you take a look, Farhad Cobb, obviously UConn playing him for the jumper. Cobb smartly puts it on the floor. Everybody plays Cobb for the jumper. He's only taken 7 free throws all season. I'm sorry, 7 free throws in the last 7 games and 21 for the season. So he doesn't get to the line much because he doesn't go to the basket much.
Calhoun knocks it into the corner. Shot clock violation. Calhoun upset, got the ball to Gibbs. Pretty good shooting percentage, and it looked like Gibbs was unaware of the shot clock. Got the ball in plenty of time, just didn't react. UConn 6 turnovers in less than 12 minutes for UConn. Excuse me, Lynn.
I was going to say, here on the visitors' floor, after that SMU game, UConn looks completely different than they did against the Mustangs. They were sharp, they were focused, and here they're just not playing the way you would expect.
Purvis on the run with the scoop.
That
and
you would
at the
expect.
other, yes, you would. At the other end, they tried to challenge Brima, and I've never seen that as a good idea.
Especially if you don't know how to go after the shot blocker. You've got to go right into his chest. You leave any room between you and the shot blocker, you're going to get that smack back in your face.
There's one of those freedom of movement fouls called on Sean Miller. He picks up his second with 7:36 to go in the half. On this 1 and 2 seed line is Virginia. Remember how far they were down. It's been a great comeback for the Cavaliers.
And the other story obviously is Miami, although they were pretty much trounced today by Carolina. You know, who would have expected to see Miami on that 2 line? No one would be formidable in the ACC, but you know, I think them being this good surprised a lot of people.
Cincinnati just pounding UConn on the boards, 11-4 so far, and that translates into a 9-point lead. Copane had a cutter and missed him.
Well, here's another opportunity for UConn to take advantage, although it's a dead ball opportunity. UConn has only scored 5 points off of now 7 Cincinnati turnovers. And they can't afford to let these opportunities be wasted.
That's amazing that you've been given 7 turnovers and only have 9 points in the game. Facey makes an appearance. Been 20 players already in this game. Gibbs tries to lay up. No. Tip won't go by Facey. And knocked out of bounds to Cincinnati. UConn just can't buy one even when they manage to keep it alive inside.
Well, a bad sign for UConn at this juncture. Coming into this game, they've been out-rebounded in the last 3 games by a total of 7 rebounds. But yet they were still 2-1 in those 3 games. This is one of those games, though, where they have to compete on the glass because they're not shooting the ball very well, certainly under 30%.
10 to shoot. Evans kept alive by Clark, but rebounded by Calhoun. Gibbs kicks it to Purvis. Loves that 3. Body contact on the charge, and the foul is going to go on Farad Cobb. After tonight's Big Ten matchup between Purdue and Indiana, don't miss Sports Center at night. John Buccigross, John Anderson, all the highlights from college hoops, the NBA, and an update from Daytona. Sports Center at night tonight after college hoops right here on ESPN. Streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Nice dish inside, the blown layup by Jalen Adams.
Adams went to the basket hard, but not hard enough.
Octavius Ellis couldn't convert. Adams kicks it in the corner to Purvis. Pull up from 17.
And that's much better decision-making by Rodney Purvis. Instead of settling for that 3, the 2-dribble pull-up, got him an easier shot. And the thing I like about UConn's attack right now is they're not settling for 3s anymore. They seemingly are putting the ball on the floor, again, trying to challenge the Cincinnati defense that's been superb up until now.
18-11, trying to use the window was Gary Clark, just barely touched the rim. Hamilton back the other way. Purvis for 3 this time. It's hit 2 shots in a row, total of 5 points, and has the Huskies right back in it.
And when you attack and you get higher percentage shots, it makes those long shots a lot easier.
Gives you some rhythm, too.
Yep, in transition right there. Everybody backing up to try to protect the basket. And this is the precursor to that shot. 2-dribble pull-up inside the lane, gets a nice open look. Now he feels good about himself. And the consequence of that was that 3-pointer that he made.
First 3 of the afternoon. Bearcats lead cut to 4 with 5:25 to go in the half. We talked extensively so far about Cincinnati's prospects for the NCAA. I think that win over SMU, barring a total collapse, pretty much locked it up for the Huskies.
Yeah, I would believe so. SMU, obviously, with a good RPI. You know, they played a pretty representative schedule that reflects well. And the team that beats them, obviously, is going to get advantage from their numbers, from SMU's numbers. Unfortunately, though, SMU kind of in a tailspin right now.
After that tremendous run, they've lost 4 games all in the conference.
Yeah, and of course they're ineligible for postseason, so their championship hopes is to win the regular season.
Clark against the double team and Bryma on the back of it. Hamilton to Purvis. 3 in a row? No. But Bryma was fouled as Octavius Ellis tried to get position to get a rebound and pushed off.
Now in today's game, you don't necessarily mind that shot because in transition, everybody was going to the basket. A lot of blue shirts going offensive rebound. So you take it and you hope that your runners are able to get it.
Contested pass that Hamilton came up with. Gibbs into the corner. Adams with a spin. Triple teamed underneath. That allowed Bryma to get the rebound and the follow shot from outside by Hamilton. UConn with a 9-0 run. They've closed to 1.
And it always seems to matter. Long shots, rebound, offensive rebounds lead to good open 3-point looks.
Cobb into a double team. Cobb again will fire. Short, knew he missed it, goes after the rebound and knocks it to Clark. Coriani DeBerry inside. Bryma thought he had a clean block. Instead picks up his second personal.
In a battle for the ball right here. You're right. Cobb knew he missed it and got a hand on it. Clark got possession. The pass to DeBerry streaking on the right side. I didn't necessarily see the foul, but I was looking at the ball.
DeBerry back to the line, hit his first 2 of the day. Cincinnati had an 11-point lead at the 8:47 mark. 3.5 minutes later, it was cut to 1. Now it's a 2-point game. Bryma will sit. One of the beat writers for UConn had a great line about Bryma's performance the other night and not getting into foul trouble. He said he wakes up with 2 fouls. DeBerry hits the second. He's 4 for 4 from the line, and it's back to a 3-point margin. Well, pressure from Cincinnati.
Almost didn't get in because of the pressure, but UConn able to get into this game because of fast break, because of rebounding, second chance opportunities, and timely 3-point shooting. Put that all together, and you got a comeback.
We're tied as we go under 4 minutes. Crowd wanted a calming violation or a traveling call in that last shot. Here comes Gibbs off the steal. Blocked. Great block by Copain. Cincinnati back the other way. DeBerry. It's a 4-point turnaround there. And these fans love the way the Bearcats play defense. They truly do. Purvis. 9 on the shot clock for Calhoun. Dribbled into trouble. Stolen by Cobb. Johnson back for the layup. 2 straight open floor turnovers. Or at least opportunities for Cincinnati.
Just when you think UConn was playing smart and efficient basketball, Cincinnati another block. Cincinnati playing solid D, although Calhoun quiets the crowd a little bit there.
That was a big shot by Calhoun to get some momentum back.
It was the Cincinnati defense that got them back the lead. Anticipation off the bounce and took it away, and certainly shot blocking.
Copain to Cobb for 3, wide open. Too strong.
Oh, that's Cobb's shot right there.
That's the shot he's got to make, isn't it? Copain with quick hands knocks it away. Deflections may not turn it over, but they do a great job for your defense.
Well, remember I said you don't give the Clydesdale the ball at half court. That's more like it. As DeBerry throws it down. And then the anticipation by Cobb. And the finish by Johnson. Cincinnati up 2.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol. Land Rover halftime report just around the corner. Andy Katz and Sean Farnham will both join me here. We'll talk about the big comeback by Louisville earlier today against Duke. And we'll have highlights of a game in progress right now over on ESPN. A big one between Oklahoma and West Virginia. That's coming up. Land Rover halftime. Mike, Len, we'll see you then.
Chris, thank you very much. Look forward to it. 2:17 to go in this one. The Bearcats, who have dominated most of the first half, up now by only 2 with 2:17 to go.
Take a look at Coriani DeBerry leads Cincinnati in scoring off the bench. 8 points in 7 minutes. And he's been everywhere, running the floor. He's posted up, gotten to the free throw line.
And his career high, or his season high, is 12. So he's already 2/3 of the way there. UConn has never led in this game. Cincinnati has been up by as many as 11. Calhoun. DeBerry with another rebound.
Yeah, right now, Kevin Ollie trying a different combination. He's got Stephen Enoch in the game to try to slow DeBerry down a little bit.
That's 21 players so far. Evans. Got it. Well, if you're a three-point shooter, you love that look. Just out inside the three-point line with nobody on you. That's the one that's the highest percentage shot in the game.
And it's a pass that goes from inside back outside, so you can step into that shot.
Hamilton walk.
Take a look right there. Just a little bit of penetration. That's all it takes. As Evans stepped right into it. Doesn't always have to go into the post. All it has to do is go below the line of the shooter. Force the defense to get behind the ball, and you kick it back out to a wide open shooter stepping into it.
Coriani DeBerry getting a lot of minutes today. Beautiful drive by Copain.
Kind of picking up where he left off.
Exactly. Using his quickness, flash down the lane. The lead's up to 7. Cincinnati's defense and rebounding have been the difference in this one so far. Gibbs couldn't get inside. Hamilton shut down. 5 to shoot. Hamilton with a lob inside. Great anticipation by Kevin Johnson. Gets the steal. Now a 3 out of the corner. Too strong. DeBerry got a hand on it but couldn't hold it. Jalen Adams, boys, he's quick. Gibbs into the lane. Looked like Jacob Evans got a piece. Copain pull-up jumper. DeBerry. Crowd wanted a foul, and the big guy went to the floor. 7 to shoot. Adams with a circus shot. Clock running, and they can't get it in bounds before the half ends. It's a 5-point lead. Could have been more. Mick Cronin pleading his case. He didn't like that last call as DeBerry hit the deck. He knows he's going to lose the argument, but it's not stopping him.
I'll tell you what, here on this end, on the drive, just a terrific body control by Jalen Adams.
So at the half, it's 29-24 Cincinnati. We send it to Chris Cotter, Andy Katz, and Sean Farnham for the Land Rover halftime report.
ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's.
Welcome back to Cincinnati in the American Conference on ESPN, where the Bearcats at the half are leading UConn 29-24, all part of Rivalry Week. I couldn't say it. Presented by Wendy's. Got through the whole week. Thought I was actually going to make it without saying why.
Don't blame it on the director.
Welcome back, everybody. A surprise star in this game. Coriani DeBerry comes off the bench for Cincinnati. 8 points, 3 boards, and he gave them energy as well.
Well, he did, and highly surprising, certainly entertaining half. But DeBerry came on and really helped neutralize Amita Brima and Sean Miller of UConn. And it was DeBerry with his hustle, utilizing his strength. And again, doing a great job on the board to neutralize the bigs for UConn. And Gary Clark, you would expect it. Defensively, he was there. And offensively, you know that he's going to put the ball in the basket for Cincinnati. Now, UConn's going to have to get other guys besides Rodney Purvis more attuned to going to the basket. Purvis really the only one assertive enough to go strong, and then that makes it easier for him to get good looks outside if they have to honor the drive.
We talked about Amita Brima and the brilliant game he had against SMU. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks. How about this for a stat line today? No points, 1 rebound, no blocks. He's got to get going in the second half, or they're probably not going to win.
Yeah, UConn came out flat, and for the most part, the big guys, Miller and Brima, were neutralized, as I said, by the front line of Cincinnati. It's a new half and an opportunity to redeem themselves.
Miller double teamed in the lane, still manages to knock it down. Nice move.
That's a good start.
Certainly was. Sean Miller out of Euclid, Ohio. Copain bringing it up against Hamilton, gets the screen.
Look how deep Ellis is in the paint against Bryma.
Got Bryma in the air, picked up his third foul. For one of the rare times that I've seen him in a Connecticut uniform, he was faked off his feet.
Yeah, I think he's probably a little too hyped right now. He rarely leaves his feet until the offensive player leaves his feet. But that time, outstanding ball fake and head fake by Ellis. Gets a big fella off his feet and puts Ellis on the line.
66% shooter on the season.
You know, when you remember to recall that replay, with Bryma with his arms outstretched, he never had to leave his feet. He's that long.
Right.
It presents that much of an issue for a shooter that he doesn't have to jump half the time.
Missed them both. Knocked out of bounds off of Hamilton to Cincinnati. One thing people forget about Amita Bryma, he played soccer growing up as a kid, did not play basketball, and you lose, you have no instincts for the game. They have to develop very, very late in your age.
But as an athlete, there are certain elements of that game where it's instinctive regardless of what sport you play. Reflexes, timing, all of those things. And then you use your high IQ to develop quickly.
That was a big soccer player, by the way.
I hope he was in goal.
Copain, 10 to shoot. Clark, nice spin right with the left hand and got the roll.
I tell you what, you got to watch Gary Clark a lot, and then you appreciate how fundamentally sound he is. He's not gaudy. He's not flashy, but man, he gets the job done.
Doesn't he ever? 31-26. Gibbs looking for the screen, gets it. Hamilton leans into a three, short. Offensive rebound, Calhoun, nice job.
And again, another shot too far from the basket, too early in the offense.
Gibbs. Miller. Calhoun for three. At that good spot, top of the circle, couldn't hit it though.
Missed shot, but better offense. Move the ball, force the defense to shift and adjust, and you get a good look.
Gibbs man-to-man on Copain. Both teams like to use that high ball screen. Thomas back in the game, almost lost it. Cobb with a floater at the baseline. Gibbs into the lane, nice dish. Can't convert, and they go back outside. Nolan, who starts the second half, tries his jumper and misses. Both teams stone cold coming out of the locker room.
Troy Copain just barely got that over. I think he was trying to be coy and just got it before the 10-second.
Clark, 8 to shoot, turns it over.
Too nonchalant.
Take advantage.
Too nonchalant with that. Miller just took it away from him.
Hamilton drops it for Calhoun. His runner won't go. Somebody put a lid on that thing at the half?
Getting good shots.
Clark. Cobb goes baseline again. This time he got the angle. Laid it in with the right hand off the glass. The officials initially called timeout and said no, there is no timeout.
Well, Shaq Thomas came up lame, and I think the officials were trying to give him a chance. And then they quickly got a substitution in for him.
UConn is 1 out of 5 from the floor in the second half. And Thomas hurting as he goes to the bench. Cincinnati is hit 2 out of 4. Here's full court pressure by the Bearcats against Sterling Gibbs. Really good ball handler. He can play either guard efficiently. Cincinnati covers up very quickly on defense.
Yeah, right now they're in man-to-man and do a nice job of stepping out. They do a nice job of
hand check foul on Evans. And we've got a timeout with 15:55 left, a 7-point game.
It's never too early to fill out the brackets. Our analysts, a mock bracket, practice makes perfect. Bracket practice next week.
You don't have to wait until March. Select games will use Joe Lunardi's latest bracketology that comes out on Monday, February 22nd, to predict the NCAA tournament throughout the week. Each game Monday through Thursday will give a region to select from, and we'll choose the winners of the first 4-round games. You can just follow along, fill out your bracket in advance. You'll be ready to go.
You can change it about 5 or 8 times before Selection Sunday.
How about these teams? UConn obviously in with that win over SMU.
But it's still, I mean, it's not a level upon which you can be comfortable. You can feel good but not be comfortable. And Cincinnati, as we said throughout this game, desperation time, survival time. You know, they've got to continue to win. They've got to win out in order to keep their hope alive.
Now, Joe Lunardi says right now they're in that group, the last 4 in, actually last to be invited. So a win here against UConn would sweep the season series and give them another quality win. And so far, they have outplayed the Huskies. Gibbs trapped in the corner where they double team so well. Purvis down the lane. Adams couldn't get a quality shot. That is a great defensive stand right there by Cincinnati. Nobody was open. Nobody got a good look.
Yeah, as I said, we laud UConn because of their defense. One of the top 3 or 4 in the nation field goal percentage defense. And Cincinnati right there. 38.8% coming into this game.
Lazy pass by Cobb, picked off. Adams on the run. And had it knocked out of bounds.
You know, one of the things I thought was going to be really important in this game is to keep UConn off the free throw line. You know, they have been outshot from the free throw line by about 40 in the last 6 games. Opponents have averaged 20 free throw attempts per game. They've only made 61% of those. UConn has had 12 free throw attempts per game over those last 6 games, but they've made 85%. And they're 5-1 in those 6 games, so they've been winning from the free throw line.
They've been one of the best in the country all year long. That 3 got a nice spin for Purvis and found a home at the bottom of the net.
And one of the reasons why UConn hasn't been to the line as often is because they've been pretty successful from their perimeter. And they haven't really gone to the basket to draw fouls. And in a game like this, they're going to have to take it to the hole against a quality opponent defensively like Cincinnati.
Ellis drew the foul. Super Saturday continues later at 6:30 on ESPN. Kentucky and Texas A&M from College Station. Then at 8:30 in the NBA, we've got Steph and the Warriors against Chris Paul and the Clippers. That's at 8:30 on ABC.
And as we talk about free throws, right now Cincinnati winning the battle of free throw attempts. This is the 7th attempt.
I think one of the factors, Len, Cincinnati's perimeter defense has been so good they haven't allowed any penetration.
Yeah, UConn has only taken 2 free throws in this game. And that's been a tremendous help as far as Cincinnati's been concerned. And as I said, one of the biggest keys to beating the Huskies is to keep them off the line because they shoot it so well.
Sean Miller has to sit with 3 fouls. Ellis missed the first free throw, gets another.
And on the flip side, when you get opportunities, you better knock them down. Because Cincinnati right now, I believe, 5 of 8 from the line. Look at this mismatch right there. Kevin Ollie's going crazy. He had Ellis on Gibbs, and Gibbs played around, didn't take it to the basket and try to beat him off the dribble.
Adams with a runner. Nice touch. And you see he's got into the lane, floated it up.
I'm saying, Mike, you can see Kevin Ollie telling Gibbs, go to the basket. You got this big guy on you who can't stay with you. Take it.
Well, nice job by Gibbs. Ties it up, but the possession arrow will give it back to Cincinnati. Great defensive play by Sterling Gibbs.
Take a look right now. Look at the top of your screen. To the right of your screen, Kevin Ollie saying, take it, take it. And now he's telling him, go to the basket. And afterwards, he even, as Gibbs ran by him, told him what he needs to do.
Kevin Ollie working hard. Evans for 3. Jacob Evans, who is a 31% shooter on the year, has started a couple of games lately with Shaq Thomas having that foot injury. He has 6 points today. Tough drive for Adams. Facey got a tip and missed it. Facey comes up limping. And a foul.
Oh, you take a look right here. Evans wide open. No hesitation as Gibbs not quick enough to close. And that's how you have to play basketball. You react instinctively. And that's why the Gibbs on the mismatch that he had with Ellis, you got to react instinctively. You see a big guy that's not able to stay with you, don't hesitate.
Johnson for 3. Offensive rebound to Ellis. Good hustle. Copain. Purvis clears.
Not a good shot by Copain that time.
Purvis used his speed and then missed the shot. Copain back the other way. Johnson again. Keep leaving me alone. I'm going to hit one.
See, that was a better shot in transition as opposed to the quick one taken, because UConn tried to take advantage in transition to no avail.
The lead grows to 9, Len.
Certainly does, because of efficient, smart play. Copain pushes it, gets the defense in the paint, and Kevin Johnson does the rest.
One of the reasons Cincinnati has built a 9-point lead, Len, is they are killing UConn on the boards.
Yeah, they are doing a nice job, particularly on the offensive glass. They've been able to attack, get 7 offensive rebounds, 6 second chance points. And the other element is Amita Brahma in foul trouble hasn't really been a factor today, as opposed to being dominant Thursday. We saw him really get it going. After missing 11 games, the SMU game, I think, was his 5th game back. And it looked like he was his 6th game back, and it looked like he was rounding into shape.
Really did.
The other element is keeping UConn off the free throw line. Cincinnati top 10 in the fewest fouls in the nation, about 15.8. And they're making it work for them today. UConn just 2 free throws.
Hamilton walked. Tried to get his defender in the air, slid that pivot foot. Kevin Ollie, I think, liked the penetration, certainly didn't like the result.
Yeah, and to beat this Cincinnati defense, you have got to penetrate. You've got to get in the paint. That way you force the opportunity to kick it back outside, or you draw some fouls.
Coriandi to Barry. I almost expected that one to go in the way he's played today. Purvis as they drop it for him. Purvis, who was the only man in double figures, misses that shot. Loose ball rebound to Hamilton. Off the glass, missed it, and then Facey commits a foul trying to get the offensive rebound. That's 2 on Kenton Facey. Cincinnati in desperate straits, trying to qualify for the NCAA at UConn's expense.
Lead line, they dropped after getting blown out by Carolina, and Xavier moves up to the 2 line. with a big win over Georgetown in Washington, D.C. I tell you, those are the teams among them that have a chance. We're talking about some of the big, more familiar teams, but the Xaviers, the Miamis, teams like that can get hot.
UConn has not been to the line, by the way, in the second half. That basket counts, and the foul.
Just take a look. Bump right there. Could have been a foul call, but nobody steps up to help.
Gibbs picks up his first, and Evans will go to the line, trying for the old-fashioned three-point play. The young men who they plucked out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Normally, off of a screen like that, you'd expect somebody from UConn to step out and hedge and force Evans laterally. No one stepped out, and he had a beeline to the basket.
The lead is 11. And UConn's going to have to catch fire the last 10:55 of this ballgame. They're being outplayed by Cincinnati. Hamilton. Adams. Kid has a lot of talent, doesn't he?
He's their point guard of the future. He's got the size. He's got a nice mid-range game, not necessarily a good three-point shooter. Came into this game 5 of 33 from beyond the arc. But he handles it, and the more comfortable he becomes in making plays, how much more dangerous he'll become for the future.
Baseline jumper, Octavius Ella has it rejected.
First block of the game.
He's been almost invisible. Poor pass there. And the pick, Johnson on the run. Adams is back. So's Bryma.
And you see Bryma exhort his team to come on. And you got a big fella hustling from end line to end line to block a shot. He expects some help, and he got none.
Reach in by Ellis trying for a steal. Picks up the foul. That's 3 on Octavius Ellis.
Look at a big fella sprint like a good soccer player. Blocks the shot, but nobody helps in sealing off Ellis. And you see Bryma in your screen telling his guys, come on. When you get a 7-footer to run like that, man, you've got to be able to help him.
44-33. Hamilton to inbound. Miller wants it in the lane, gets it. Adams. Crowd wanted a call, but it looked like one of those Euro steps.
That was just a nice move. We have sung the praises of Jalen Adams, and you see it more and more. What this young man is going to bring to the table, just a freshman. In 2 or 3 years, you could see him joining the ranks of Kemba Walker.
Jacob Evans changes that. He's hit 2 threes, and it's now the biggest lead of the ball game for Cincinnati. They're up by 12.
I was going to finish the sentence as to the other point guard for UConn, but you know who I mean.
There's been a string of them, haven't there?
That's right.
You'd love to be on that list. Calhoun, what was that with the left hand? He lost control of the ball, it appeared, as he went in the lane, decided to shoot it anyway.
And Gary Clark recognizes, locates the defense like he should, and finds the open man. And the good thing about it is that Jacob Evans didn't stand still. When his man floated down to double, he moved to the open spot. Clark found him.
Sean Miller just picked up his 4th. They're going to have to get him out of the ball game at the 8:56 mark. And every time UConn has made a little bit of a run, Cincinnati has burst right back. Ellis, low to Clark. Once he gets the ball in that position, good luck.
Yeah, Gary Clark has been the man today.
Adams Nice runner. Adams' scoring is keeping this club in there. 10 points for the freshman. Clark. Adams again, he's feeling it. Gibbs, good skip pass. Hamilton back. Adams. Yes, he is feeling it. 13 for Jalen Adams to lead down to single digits at 49-40.
And we mentioned, came into this game shooting 5 of 33 from beyond the arc. But when you're feeling it, you feel like you can do anything.
Got 11 points here in the second half.
Bryma changes another shot.
Yes, he does. Amita Bryma has come alive, at least defensively. Hamilton out to Purvis. There's another three this time by Gibbs. 49-43.
Cincinnati's got to stop the bleeding.
They've cut a 12-point lead in half. That's a nice run for UConn to get back in the ballgame with 6 minutes and 53 seconds to go from Cincinnati.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2016 John R. Wooden Award Men's Player of the Year, and Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Welcome back to Cincinnati. 6:53 to go. Bearcats on top by 6, but UConn with a run, Len.
8-0 run. And it's been the freshman, Jalen Adams, who scored 5 of those 8 points. There was a 3. And a little help from his friend as Sterling Gibbs. Purvis passes to Gibbs. And Gibbs knocks down the 3. But Adams with a mid-range shot as well as knocking down a 3. Gibbs with the final 3 before the timeout.
Adams having a huge second half. Don't forget the contribution defensively of Amita Bryma, who got the wake-up call a little late today.
That's right. That's why it's an 8-0 run. The shutout had a lot to, during that period of time, had a lot to do with Bryma's rim protection.
Close games have not been the calling card for Cincinnati this year. That's Adams from behind, called for the foul. That's the first of the day on the 6'3" freshman.
And again, you've got a team on their heels. You're closing the gap, and you make a freshman mistake trying to block a shot from behind, knowing, or actually not knowing, but should have known that you're going to wind up getting called for it. Now, Copain obviously is bailing out a little bit, but Jalen Adams, those are the things that freshmen have to overcome. That lack of judgment, and he'll learn.
Copain, one of the best free throw shooters on this club at 76%. Missed the first, made the second. The lead is 7. UConn has not had the greatest luck in the closing minutes of most games either. So which of these teams is going to step up? Nice move by Hamilton to get inside, but he missed the shot.
Well, actually,
Bryma almost had the rebound wrested away by Clark.
Ellis got a piece of that shot. Yeah, we talk about Bryma's shot blocking ability, but Ellis, long. He's got good leaping ability, good timing as well.
Approaching the 6-minute mark. Ellis, 5 to shoot, knocked away from Evans with 4 on the shot.
You know, it's a question of whether it's going to look at Ellis go up. Ball is up. Is it on the way down? Ooh, close.
I'm no good at those. I'll leave that to you.
Ellis got a fingertip on it.
Great pass inside. And how does Gary Clark get that open?
Miscommunication as you see Daniel Hamilton yelling at somebody. You know, these guys have gone through every out-of-bounds play, and it's all about focus, concentration, and communication. And that time, you can see UConn lacks communication.
And UConn uses a timeout with 5:48 to go in the game. Coming up tomorrow on NBA Sunday, 2 compelling games for you. 3:30 Eastern on ABC, King James and the Cavs against OKC in the Thunderdome. Then at 8 on ESPN, Kobe and the Lakers in his farewell tour take on the Bulls. It all starts at 3 with NBA Countdown. I think Kobe Bryant is appreciated right now more than he has been in several years.
And just the other way around as well. Kobe Bryant is appreciating the league and the game.
I think so, too. Good point.
As much as he ever has. And this man obviously has been appreciated by the game. Oscar Roberts.
That's because of everything he did for it.
Yeah, the greatest Cincinnati Bearcat and one of the greatest in the NBA.
Down to the last 5:45 we go in a 9-point ball game. Hamilton guarded by Copain has a height advantage on it. Boy, Cobb got his hands on it, and it's a great call by the official who had a tremendous look at it from that corner. The possession arrow will give it back to UConn.
Oh, Cobb does a nice job of stepping in. When you've got a guy, Cobb's playing a man on the perimeter. When you're in that position, you either have to go and help or you got to stay at home.
Boy, excellent defense by Cincinnati. That was knocked out of bounds by Clark. Took 2 more seconds off the shot clock. They help out so well. If somebody's beaten, they cover up beautifully. Purvis with a miss. Brima with a follow, and he's blasted by Ellis.
That was a poor block out. And I think Ellis knew it, too.
And Brima, it's no danger to send him to the line. He's a good free throw shooter.
Yeah, you and I were discussing a lot of times we help excuse the guys with, you know, big hands, as both he and Clark, I guess, and even Corianti DeBerry, guys with big hands that can't shoot free throws. But if you work at it and you develop a touch for it,
absolutely,
you can shoot free throws.
And he does. Amita Brima on the year, 69-4. Gets the ball out on his fingertips, knocks home both, 52-45. So they get a couple of points out of what had been a great defensive stand by Cincinnati. Purvis on Copain. Copain pull-up jumper. Corianti DeBerry with another rebound.
Don't put it on the floor, big fella.
He got it out. Cobb. Evans. Boy, DeBerry's been huge today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has muscled his way to a number of rebounds on both ends of the floor.
4 rebounds for DeBerry. Also has 8 points. That's way off target from Evans. Look at the speed of Adams. And a blocking call as Cobb hits the ground and he's hurt. Grasping that left knee, got up a lot quicker than I expected.
Tough position to be in. You're Farad Codd. You're backpedaling, and you try to take the charge, but your feet are in a restricted area. Another look, his heels right on the line. So regardless of whether it would have been a charge otherwise, as a secondary defender, your feet are on that line and you make contact automatic.
Once that happens, you're at the mercy of whatever happens after that.
Tell you what, man, you look at Jalen Adams, missed that free throw, but 14 points. Look out, Walker, Napier, Boatwright. Here comes Jalen Adams.
And that's from an 83% shooter. Under 4.5 minutes to go. Cobb. DeBerry tried to keep it alive. And I think DeBerry is going to pick up the foul. That's 2 on the big senior.
Well, you got to move. If you're going to offensive rebound, you can't reach over the defender's shoulder and you can't push him out of the way. And sometimes that's fatigue. You see hands on the hips right now. A couple of guys in Cincinnati seem to be winded a little bit.
Well, he's playing more minutes than he usually gets in 4 or 5 games because he's played so well. He couldn't have done this last year before he lost the weight.
No question.
Gibbs, nice pass to Purvis. You can't leave Purvis alone. He's the most dangerous shooter out there.
Even though he hasn't,
points for Purvis.
Even though he hasn't been shooting like a dangerous shooter, you still got to honor him.
52-49, and UConn seems to have been dominated all day long. Here they are within 3. Copain into the lane, kick out. Johnson got it. Huge shot for Kevin Johnson. You just don't expect a 30% long-range shooter to hit one like that. Boy, Clark goes down hard after getting a piece of Adams' shot.
And how about Copain helping Clark up? Getting him in. We need you, big fella.
While he's got the ball.
That's right. Get up off the deck.
Defended.
Get up off the deck.
Clark gets a standing ovation. He earned that one. Went down like a ton of bricks after making a brilliant defensive play.
You take a look at him coming from the weak side. Makes the block. Legs out from under him, hits the deck. Now look at Troy Copain. Get up, brother. We need you.
From 2001 to 2011.
And remember with the UCLA titles, many of them early was the only way you get to the NCAA tournament. You had to win their regular season because they did not have a conference tournament.
Clark in and out. But the tip is good by Ellis because Brima went for the block. Nobody guarding the rim.
And that's the risk when you have a shot blocker and he misses.
They're going crazy here in Cincinnati. They can feel it. Gibbs, huge shot out of the corner. What a clutch bucket for Gibbs. He has 10.
Yeah, you can't count UConn out because of their ability from the perimeter and because of their defensive prowess. Whoa, just an inch away from being a backcourt violation.
Boy, that was close. Jacob Evans had his heel almost on the line. Clark leaned into Brima, didn't go, but the rebound to Ellis. What a huge rebound.
As I said, you don't count out UConn. Excellent ball movement by Daniel Hamilton inside out. And then watch Brima go to the shot block. He misses it, and his man does what he's supposed to do, right to the front of the rim. Octavius Ellis.
Ellis with 10 rebounds today. But he's hit only 1 of 4 free throws on the afternoon. 66% shooter, and these are huge. He'll get another. Cincinnati with the advantage in free throws. UConn has been almost shut out. Offensive rebound on the miss. They can't let that happen. It gives him another 30 seconds.
And Kevin Ollie on the sideline, hands on his hips. Jaw dropped to the floor as he knows how big that was.
Mick Cronin saying, use that clock. Clark, nice pass to Ellis, but blocked by the big man. Adams hustles, got it. What a shot by Adams. He has 16 big points. Then Gibbs commits the foul in backcourt.
And again, another frustrating action by his team. Kevin Ollie, first of all, you take a look at the block by Brymer, at least the changes the shot. Adams just pushes in and rams it right down Broadway. And on the other end, Gibbs, trying to keep the ball out of Copain's hands, fouls him 93 feet from the basket.
And now Copain, who was hit 1 of 2 and is a 76% shooter on the year, goes to the line.
I mean, in some ways, you don't want that foul if you're Kevin Ollie, because you're going to give UConn a chance to put, Cincinnati a chance to put points on the board. But this still extends the game and forces Cincinnati to make it from the free throw line.
And you've got a chance to trade 3 for 2.
Exactly.
The lead is 6, a 2-possession game.
It's still a 2-possession game. Prior to that foul, it was a 2-possession ball.
Yes. Purvis to Hamilton for 3. Purvis with the rebound. Clark got a piece. Cincinnati ball, 1:04 left. UConn's going to have to foul.
Good decision by Johnson not to give it to Copain, who was forced into the backcourt.
7 to shoot. Evans. 19-foot. How big is that? Now it's a 3-possession game. These fans are saying, hey, maybe last 4 in, not anymore, buddy.
I tell you, Kevin Ollie rolled the dice, hoping his team could make a stop. And Jacob Evans said, snake eyes.
Yeah, he said, stop this.
I tell you what, huge shot. They spread it out, let him go one-on-one. Would have been a big stop for UConn without fouling to get an opportunity on the other end, but Evans puts a stop to it.
Joey Brackett says 2 teams are in. Cincinnati makes 3. If they had lost today, said Joe, they would drop out. Tulsa is in the first 4 out, the same position they were in last year, knowing they've got to win down the stretch to get a bid. And Kevin Ollie was so happy the other night after his team's brilliant performance against SMU. Not happy right now. They're down by 8, and there's only 38-3 left. Another Super Saturday continues. First in college hoops. Number 14, Kentucky against Texas A&M. 6:30 Eastern on ESPN in College Station. And then we go to the NBA on ABC at 8:30. Steph and the Warriors against Chris Paul and the Clippers.
Now I got a quick question. You take a look at the seeding. UConn at 9. They obviously, it's going to change with this loss.
Right.
Maybe. And then you got Temple at 11. Temple, does this UConn loss affect Temple's seeding at all?
I think.
Does it make them go up or down? That's curious.
Gibbs missed out of the corner and a foul.
And Temple's not even playing today, so they're affected without even playing. And that's what we talk about, the fluidity of the situation. As we see a dejected Kevin Ollie. He saw his team play outstanding basketball against a tough SMU team on Thursday. And here today at Cincinnati, they came out flat, made a courageous run. But the Bearcats, playing in desperation mode, survival mode, just did the job.
Cincinnati on the verge of sweeping the home-and-home series. Free throw missed by Clark. One of the big differences that you pointed out early, Len, in this game, UConn's inability to get to the free throw line and convert. They're such a brilliant free throw shooting team, but you can't make them if you don't get there.
Exactly. And again, we talked about Cincinnati, top 10 in the fewest fouls. And they got the job done today.
Copain picks up the foul from Gibbs. That's his fourth. Only 18.6 seconds to go in a 3-possession game.
Talk about keeping UConn off the line. Cincinnati has only committed 9 personal fouls in this game, 5 just in this half. A really rough and tumble half, and they're able to avoid fouls, to avoid putting UConn on the line.
Well, they're 10th in the country coming in with the ability to play great defense and not commit fouls, and this is even under that terrific average today. And it's just been exceptional.
When you look at these numbers right now, this is definitely a Cincinnati-type basketball game.
Yes, it is. Fist fight in a phone booth. Just the way Mick Cronin likes it. They're checking to see who should have gotten that last foul, and it was obviously Sterling Gibbs. They just didn't notice the number when they called the personal. Nobody on the line for Cincinnati. They're back defending the quick shot. Clark will get a great hand as he goes out. He was so tough today. And you're right, Len, he's not flashy, but boy, is he good. And Copain hits 2. 10-point lead and no time. Purvis, the bank is open on a Saturday afternoon in Cincinnati. But it's too late for any more deposits. And there's no ATM in the building. These are easier shots when you're up by 7 and there's no time on the clock, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, but you still got to knock them down. It's 12.6 seconds. We've seen stranger things happen. And the way UConn can shoot the 3 and the way they're shooting it now.
Purvis under pressure has to take the shot anyway and missed it. Adams backs out. No, but a foul.
Come on.
With 2.8 seconds left.
Justin Jennifer, what are you doing? That's what he's thinking.
Absolutely.
What are you doing?
And he can only say that as a matter of principle because it's not going to affect the outcome as Adams drains a free throw. So Cincinnati will get its 20th win, the 6th straight year that they've had 20 victories. The last time they had a streak longer than that under Bob Huggins from 92 to 2002. And Mick Cronin started as the video guy for Bob Huggins here in Cincinnati. Hats off to the Bearcats. A critical win for them here at home. Coming up next, number 2 Kansas takes on Kansas State. But first, we'll send it back to the studio. Chris Cotter, Andy Katz, and Sean Farnham. For Len Elmore and our entire crew, Mike Patrick, thanks for watching. Goodbye from Cincinnati.